Alexis Scrofford, a 21-year-old senior at Clark University in Atlanta, was preparing for graduation. Her Evera family meant everything to her. Alexis grew up in a large and loving family with 5 brothers and 4 sisters. She also had a very close relationship with her parents. Friends noted her self-confidence and perseverance in achieving goals. Alexis was thoughtful, kind, and cheerful. Spending a lot of time with her father Bobby, who worked as a lawyer, further strengthened her clear understanding of good and evil. Studying criminal justice, Alexis aspired to do something that could help people and bring about positive change. Alexis shared an off-campus apartment with 21-year-old Jordan Johnson. They were inseparable, and Alexis called Jordan her best friend. Jordan knew Alexis' family well and even celebrated Thanksgiving and Easter with them. On October 30th, around 3:30 p.m., Alexis' mom Tammy and her sister Monica contacted her via FaceTime. Alexis seemed to be in a great mood, joking and talking a lot. Then she asked Monica to send her some money through a special app. Around 9 p.m., Alexandria, Alexis' sister, texted her, wondering about her plans. The upcoming weekend was alumni reunion at the college, with many celebrations and parties planned around campus. But it seemed Alexis had no plans, as she simply replied, "Nothing." Alexis made an Instagram post at 9:03 and responded to a message in a group chat about 20 minutes after that. And that was the last anyone heard from her. When morning came, Alexis was still silent. She communicated with someone in her family every day, but now her phone went straight to voicemail. On November 1st, Alexis missed classes and then failed to show up for work. This was absolutely out of character for her, and her family grew very concerned. Alexis never missed anything without a good reason. Something was clearly wrong, so they reported her missing. Surveillance cameras recorded Alexis leaving the Heritage Station apartments, and her roommate Jordan reported dropping her off at a liquor store near their home around 11:30 p.m. About an hour later, before bed, Jordan still saw Alexis. She told police that when she woke up on the morning of October 31st, Alexis was gone. No signs that she stayed home that night. Examining the apartment, Jordan noticed Alexis' phone, ID, and debit card were also missing. When Jordan was about to leave for class, she found the door locked. Perhaps Alexis went to a party or to meet other friends late in the evening. But the only camera that captured her was at the liquor store, and none of her friends said they saw her that night. The hashtag Let's Find Lexi became popular on social media, and volunteers focused their search on the wooded area across from her apartment. Alexis had never been reported missing before. There was no activity on her phone or bank accounts. Considering everything they knew about her responsibility, especially towards family, hope quickly turned to fear of the worst. Police ruled out no possibilities. There was still a chance Alexis ran away for unknown reasons. Law enforcement called local hospitals and doctors to find out if anyone had registered under the name Jane Doe. Unexpectedly, they received information that brought their search for Alexis back to where she was last seen, her apartment. When she disappeared, the pastor and family representative, Reverend Mark L. Hutchins, said he knew about her difficult trials. Recently, Alexis had experienced something no woman should have to endure, so he urged the people of Atlanta to pray for her and her family. At the time, it wasn't specified what exactly was meant, but it later became known that on October 27th, 3 days before disappearing, Alexis had gone to the hospital and filed a police report, claiming she had been by Jordan's boyfriend, 21-year-old Baron Brently. On October 27th, the 3 of them were drinking at the girl's apartment, and Baron made attempts to hit on Alexis and harass her, but she rejected his advances. He claimed he mistook her for Jordan. Very upset, Alexis went to her bedroom. Baron followed her, after which she locked herself in the bathroom. According to her, she remembered nothing further and passed out. Upon regaining consciousness, Alexis found her underwear torn and Baron partially undressed. Jordan even knocked on the door, and when Baron opened it, she described him as undressed. The first thing he said to her was, "I did Alexis." By 6 in the morning, Baron had already left in Jordan's car, just before the police arrived at the apartment. Jordan did call 911, but not to report an assault, rather that he had taken her vehicle. The alleged was not mentioned, and she referred to Baron as an ex-boyfriend, which contradicted other accounts of their relationship at the time. Then Alexis went to Grady Hospital for a exam, which found traces of Baron's semen inside her. While Alexis was going through all this, Jordan, aware of the situation, secretly brought Baron back to her room, where he stayed for the next few days. Alexis told friends she no longer wanted to sleep in her room, so she moved to the living room. She was frightened and felt unsafe. This situation was still being considered in the police report, and since Alexis was living in the living room and staying away from the apartment, she had no idea that Baron was still there. Police officers immediately went to the apartment to talk to the couple. Jordan confirmed that she had reported it, as a result of which she and Alexis stopped communicating. The more they talked, the deeper the police understood there was much more behind this story, and the further they dug, the worse it looked. Eventually, with the help of her father, who worked in law enforcement in another state, Jordan led the detective to an area 11 miles from the apartment. On November 8, a week after Alexis was declared missing, her body was found in DeKalb County Park, about 11 miles from her home. She had been strangled and stuffed into a trash can. Shortly after, police announced charges of malice murder against two individuals, Jordan Johnson and Baron Brently. Student government President Levon Campbell noted the huge impact of this event on the university community. First, because of the loss of Alexis, and secondly, because it was done by two other well-known and popular students. Many tried to make sense of what happened and simply find answers. The university president published an open letter, expressing condolences to the school and announcing that the campus would provide grief counseling to help all those affected cope. Alexis' father said that if they wanted to take someone's life, they could have done it to him, not necessarily kill his daughter. Surprisingly, Baron and Jordan began to open up and confess to what happened to Alexis. According to them, around 3 a.m. on October 31st, an argument broke out between the friends, which quickly escalated into a physical confrontation. Hearing the commotion, Baron came out of Jordan's room and also became a participant in the conflict. Events unfolded so quickly that Baron admitted to choking Alexis. While Jordan grabbed a plastic bag and pulled it over the victim's head, the two of them continued to strangle the girl together. Baron told investigators that Alexis was desperately gasping for air and making sounds filled with suffering. Surveillance cameras in the garage near the apartment captured the couple arriving at the building in Jordan's car around 3 a.m. Law enforcement suspects that this was the moment Alexis' body was loaded into the vehicle. The killers put her in a plastic container, carried her out of the apartment, wiped up the blood in the living room, then took her body to the park and dumped it in the woods. After that, both of them returned to the apartment to sleep. Later that same day, Jordan sent a message to another friend asking her to replace the trash can. Then she and Baron got ready and went to a Halloween party. Detectives concluded that both Jordan and Baron were equal and willing accomplices in this crime. Jordan turned off Alexis' phone but continued to send messages from it, pretending everything was fine. She posted on Instagram about her friend going missing, asking for help in the search. They acted as if nothing had happened. Police treated the crime scene with luminol and found traces of blood in at least 6 different spots in the living room, despite the cleanup. However, it remains unknown whose blood it was and how it got there. The exact motive for the murder has not been established, and details of the quarrel are unknown. Given the fact that Alexis filed her complaint on October 27, 3 days before disappearing, this could explain the reason the conflict started. However, police say they still need to find out whether this complaint was a direct motive for the murder or if the crime occurred against the backdrop of a sudden argument that flared up. On November 16, a farewell ceremony for Alexis was held, broadcast online. A huge number of people attended the funeral. Soon, Jordan Johnson and Baron Brently were charged. Both plead not guilty to 6 counts, which include malice murder, false imprisonment, and concealing the death of another. Baron is also accused of violating probation and obstructing an emergency call. No charges of harassment were filed. The district attorney's office announced it would not seek the death penalty for either defendant. Baron was undoubtedly well known to law enforcement and had been detained many times before, including for burglary, assault, attempted escape and insulting a police officer, domestic violence, and third-degree cruelty to children. In 2 years, he was sent to prison 5 times. The young woman accused of killing her friend and roommate will not be released on bail. During an online hearing, Scrofford's mother and father begged the judge not to allow bail. Raven Johnson was denied bail, but her lawyers asked the judge to reconsider the arguments, claiming she assisted in the investigation and had no criminal history other than minor offenses. Prosecutors claimed they found direct messages from Johnson on social media urging Brently to destroy surveillance camera footage from the apartment complex where she and Scrofford lived. They alleged that at the time of Scrofford's murder, Johnson was on probation for driving under the influence. Alexis' parents also addressed the court during Johnson's bail hearing. Both were denied release on bail as the judge stated Jordan posed a significant flight risk. It was revealed that just hours after Alexis' death, she dropped out of college and planned to return home to her parents in Michigan. She also tried to contact witnesses in the case. Johnson attempted to conceal evidence when she contacted Alexis' family and reported that no DNA was found during the examination, although this was untrue. Baron and Jordan are now pointing fingers at each other and distancing themselves from what happened. Their lawyers petitioned to separate the cases in order to conduct separate trials for the murder. In addition to the negative consequences caused by the quarantine, another serious blow to the family and the prosecution was the 2023 decision that Baron's confession could not be used as evidence. The ruling stated that since he was likely under the influence of prohibited substances at the time, this put investigators in a difficult position. The court announced it was considering releasing Baron on bail. Alexis' loved ones and friends found themselves in a desperate situation. At 21, Alexis was just beginning her life journey, and the fact that she was deprived of life in such a cruel and merciless way only adds grief to the circumstances of this stunning case. Her sister Alexandria said that Alexis had always been a source of inspiration for her with her strength of spirit and determination. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Until next time, friends.